We're back. Welcome to week 2 of the 2019 Overwatch League season. We are live in Los Angeles, where some of the best Overwatch players in the world are about to throw down. Here's a look at some of them now. The Washington Justice are looking to forget about their opening match loss to New York. They'll look for another tough matchup today as they face off against our reigning champions. The London Spitfire have some things they like to forget as well after going 0-2 in week 1. London needs to turn things around quickly if they want to have a shot at our stage playoffs. We are inside the Blizzard Arena, where 8 teams are set to do battle on this stage today. This is the Watchpoint Pre-Show. We are your home for every single match day to get you all set for the action. I'm Malik Forte, joined by Zoe, Monte Cristo, and a certain Brit that you guys might have been missing.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Bryn.
Unfortunate for all of you that they let me back in your country, so now I have to put up with me the entire year. But yeah,
we got the worst Brit too.
That is
we all voted for Josh, and we got Brent. Great.
You mean to tell me they tried to get 21 Savage out of here, but they let you back in?
It's a terrible trade for you guys.
Terrible trade-off. Terrible trade-off. But guys, anyways, here's a look at the standings after the exciting first week. Remember, we have 8 new teams this season, and 6 of them have already earned their first win. Those tiebreaker numbers are map differential, or how many maps you've won minus how many maps you've lost. Monty, what's the biggest surprise so far as we look at the standings here?
For me, it's the Fusion. They're at #1 at 2-0. I expected them to at least drop 1 match during that opening week, but they came out looking pretty strong. Haven't had the toughest opponents considering London's condition right now, but still managing to pull out the 2-0 in the end.
For me personally, it's got to be my darlings, the Shanghai Dragons, you know. We're 0-2 again, 0-42 now. What's going on? Come on, tell me, please, turn it around.
I mean, yeah, we had some surprises during that first week, but it's only been 1 week, everyone. Calm down, all right? Everything is still up for grabs, and I know that a lot of teams just had to get back into the groove, shake that rust off.
Aren't you glad that the Shanghai Dragons lost, though? Because didn't you want to be here on the desk when they won?
Sure.
That's a good point. Yes, yes. No, that's a very good point. So now I get to see them win against Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Called it right there.
Oh, he's saying Boston. All right. Well, guys, another week, another stacked show for everyone watching. The Seoul Dynasty are back in action today. We sat down with the Dynasty stars to hear how they hope to strike fear into the rest of the league. Plus, the first place Philadelphia Fusion are out to prove everyone that they are indeed the top dogs. And some teams stumbled out of the gate in week 1, but don't worry, we're holding a support group to help ease their pain. Here's our 4-match schedule for today. Washington takes on London, Philly plays Florida, and the Seoul Dynasty have an interesting matchup with the Chengdu Hunters. But we'll start with Guangzhou versus Dallas. The Dallas Fuel looked like 2 different teams in their week 1 matches. They were shut out by San Francisco before taking out Seoul on Sunday. And the Guangzhou Charge lived up to their name with an aggressive performance and a 5-map loss to the Hunters. Zoe, do you like the way this young Charge team is playing so far?
Yes, no, I can't quite make up my mind. I mean, their game last week was easily one of the most entertaining matchups we've seen. It was chaotic, it was aggressive, it was fast-paced, it was everything I wanted it to be, but it also leaves me worrying a little bit about that team because they were so far forward and so hyper-aggressive, ill-advised aggressive, I would say, that I think that cost them the game. They were on paper the better team. They should have had it, but they were overly aggressive and overextended so badly that I kind of wonder, can they play more passive? Can they even play a 3-3 composition?
I mean, that's what we're wondering, right? Because they were never really forced into that situation. They wanted to play in this crazy matchup against Chengdu. But if we look at their hero usage, sure, the Lucio makes sense at 99.9%, but it starts to get weird pretty quickly. Ana played 76% of the time. Tracer, nearly 53%. These are unusual. And Zarya at 21% for this team. This is not a team that's been playing 3-3. And I'm wondering if they can beat the Dallas in a 3-3 versus 3-3 mirror matchup.
I mean, I actually appreciate them kind of experimenting.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. Now, for the Dallas Fuel, Bryn, which team do you think we're going to see today? We're going to see the good Fuel or that other bizarro Fuel we've been seeing?
Genuinely, I have no idea what we're going to be seeing because we saw the first match, they weren't playing up to par. It was a terrible match for the Dallas Fuel. They turned it around in their second one against the Seoul Dynasty. Which one are we going to be seeing today? I think it entirely matches up in how they essentially get over their issues. I mean, it seems like they have a much better time when they run AKM in the lineup. But I am very worried because, Zoe, you mentioned earlier, the Guangzhou, they like to play this hyper-aggressive style. That was what Dallas struggled with when they played against the Shock early on. That really took them off their game a lot of the times. They were uncoordinated. They were a mess when they were playing into them so hot and heavy.
Right. I really want to see them figure out their identity earlier here, though, because I feel like last year it took them a little long. You know, they had some issues, but if they can figure it out early on, Dallas can have a good run. But, you know, they impressed us with their win over Seoul, and now the Dynasty are hoping to bounce back. Seoul takes on the Chengdu Hunters, and the Hunters are quickly making a reputation for their unorthodox strategies and play style. The Dynasty defeated the LA Gladiators last week. Before that, lost to the Fuel. Mang Tank Fisher was their big offseason acquisition. Bryn, do you think that's working out for them so far?
Now, on paper, Malik, I'm looking at this team, and it just looks unreal. Like, they should be realistically at the top of the leaderboards consistently from this point on.
I heard that last year. That's weird.
Again, like, they're still having issues at this. Fisher's come into this team, and it's supposed to be, you know, he's a fantastic player in our minds. He's supposed to be performing very well for them, but there is clear sort of miscommunication, or there's no coordination between them in their match against Dallas. It seemed a little bit all over the place, and they were getting taken off guard a lot of the times, and I have to wonder, you know, Fisher, he's been on 3 teams now, you know, is this going to be a repeated problem? Are Seoul going to be imploding?
Yeah, but there were some bright spots for that Seoul team as well. I'm looking at Michel here specifically. Looking at his stats was actually quite impressive. I didn't really expect that. He had one of the best Sombras in the entire league. Yeah, that's right. And his diva was also looking pretty darn strong when we saw him playing her on Route 66. That map they had to kind of grind out, but they got there eventually and showed a lot of team play. And that was a lot of it Michel. Look at his EMP efficiency there. First in the overall ranks of the league, and we have a lot of really good Sombras in this league.
Right. He's definitely becoming an X factor. So remember this name, everybody. Michelle's looking really good. Now, Monty, we're just getting to know this Chengdu squad. Who stood out for you in the first match for that team?
Well, I really like their wrecking ball play, and I want to watch more of Ameng because Ameng as a player emphasizes the wrecking ball. Many main tanks around the Overwatch League that I've been talking to have been saying this guy is unreal at wrecking ball. I'm not sure we saw that in their first match. Could be nerves, new to the Overwatch League stage, but this is a player that I really want to keep my eye on because of the level of hype from players at his position on other teams.
Right, and it looks like wrecking ball could really scramble things up if there's a good wrecking ball out there. It's good for this Ghost meta to kind of just throw things off completely. But guys, when you're the champs, there's always a target on your back. For the London Spitfire, 2 teams hit that target in week 1. Can the 0-2 Spitfires get back on track today? We'll tell you in just a bit.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. High ground or low ground, T-Mobile has you covered.
It's our 5th match day of the season, and it's already the 3rd time the London Spitfire will kick off the day playing in our first match. London is looking for their first win against a Washington Justice team that didn't put up much of a fight in their only match last week. Needs to step up for this squad.
I think it has to be Birdring, Malik. His Zarya hasn't looked very good coming into this season so far, which is really a surprise because he is such an incredibly versatile player, as we saw last season. But something about this Zarya play seems to be really tripping him and the rest of the London Spitfire up. As you can see right here, just trying to do as much damage as he can, but statistically, he's still at the bottom end of the league as players with Zarya who have played a minimum of 10 minutes. He's not getting the energy, which means he's not coordinating well with his team on the bubbles. Damage blocked, again, very low. So it's very inefficient Zarya play that we're seeing from the London Spitfire, and that is troubling. I mean, Fury is the best Zarya on this team right now.
Right, it's kind of sad to see because they're night and day when they put guard into the game.
Yes.
It's completely crazy. Now, the Justice were able to win one map against New York. Just one. Brent, what is something that they can improve upon with that one map win they had against the Excelsior?
Boy, Justice, man. What are you boys doing? Oh, God. Let's roll the clips. Roll the clips here. Let's show me this business. They just don't know when to take fights. They're playing like cowards the entire game. They're literally, they don't know how to use the map geometry. This is something that I noticed, but this was the worst example of it. There are no engagements being called here. There is something seriously going wrong when it comes to the communication of this team. Just back it off all the way.
They're like moonwalking.
Exactly.
I think they had 6 eliminations in total on the first 2 maps.
It just looked very uncoordinated, and it is unfortunate because we said that this team is probably looking to Giannis as their leader to step it up, and you know, with his experience and his prior achievements, he could maybe really make a difference. So we did post a question last week: is Giannis going to be their main tank, the main tank he always wanted to be, which he couldn't be when he played for NYXL? The answer is no, not yet.
Put it bluntly.
I'm sorry, but like it just obviously it was a hard game against NYXL. But looking at his stats comparison against Mono, average time alive for Giannis was 41 seconds. Versus 2 minutes and 22. He got actually absolutely nothing done. The hero damage per 10 minutes was atrocious. There was nothing. Of course, we can't just blame Giannis here. It's all coming together with the entirety of the team. He wasn't being kept alive. Then again, you can also question why were the supports dying so much? Why didn't, you know, make them more of an effort to protect them in the backlines? But as you just mentioned, like they just walked backwards. They never actually went forward. So yeah, they have to get it together.
I mean, they do say justice is blind, so maybe that's the problem with their gameplay.
I thought it's love is blind. So what did that happen?
Well, yeah, the Justice have been struggling. It's been a struggle for both teams. I mean, London, so far this season, they've been struggling a lot. And we have our insider, Danny Lim, who spoke with the team earlier. Danny, what is the team saying about their rough start so far?
Thank you, Malik. Yes, I did get to talk to Gesture, their main tank from London Spitfire, regarding their 0-2 start. And according to Gesture, he said that the team was struggling to adapt to the meta, which has led to an unstable team play. And when I asked if there's any added pressure because they are the defending champions, Gesture actually said, quote, just because we won last year doesn't mean we can beat every team this season. And he also mentioned that tonight's matchup against the Washington Justice is a very, very crucial matchup. So we'll actually see how they do. That's all I have. Back to you, Malik.
Thank you very much, man. Gesture's his Reinhardt has been a bit of an issue for the Spitfire so far. Let's just keep it real, guys. What do you guys think?
Last season. I mean, what do you say? He was never the greatest Reinhardt player. There's Arisa, Winston, fantastic. Reinhardt, always a struggle.
Yeah, I don't know, Monty. I disagree with that, mate. I'm not so sure how much time we have to really flesh it out and have a fist fight, but yeah, at the end of the day, we'll
Is that how you solve all your problems now?
Fist fights in the car park.
Okay.
All right, guys. Moving on to a team who's having no problem winning so far. The Philadelphia Fusion are at the top of the overall standings through 1 week, and the Florida Mayhem are near the bottom. Florida is still waiting to see the benefits of an off-season roster overhaul, while the Fusion are looking to prove that their week 1 performance wasn't a fluke. Monty, who's been their most important player so far?
Obviously, the temptation is to say Carpe, because again, he had some very clutch moments to sort of drag Philly to these victories.
Indeed.
But for me, the cleanest player, of course, has been Poco coming back with some patented diva bombs and this scene, which makes me feel some feelings that I've never felt before, frankly.
What was that?
That's just Poco in the shower. Why are you asking questions?
Yeah,
just enjoy
Poco
it.
shower scene. Just enjoy it. Just like I'm enjoying all of these multi-kills right now that we're seeing from Poco. But it's actually impressive. He's blocking a lot of damage with the Matrix. You can see he's tied for second and Ultimate's negated right now.
Yeah.
So really just doing tons of work all the way around. Poco's been really good this season.
What a nice shower will do for you in the morning.
It's true.
Now, Florida failed the one map against the Atlanta. the Atlanta Reign. Zoe, did you see anything that they can build from their match against the Reign?
Yeah, I mean, not all hope is lost. There were definitely some signs of life from the Mayhem in that very matchup, specifically on Volskaya. Their attack looked actually really strong. It all started with a really good hack from BQB, upon which the whole team was able to dive in. They snowballed really well after that, and they showed a lot of team coordination, which leaves me to believe that they can do it. They just, you know, they have to get
Somewhere,
there.
you just got to find it, you know.
It's
Back of the sofa, you know, underneath the car seats. I lose my phone all the time under my car seats. Maybe they can find their game plan. Yeah.
In your car seat.
Brandon, if we look at the map pool, what style of match are you expecting to see in this?
So I've got some good news, potentially, maybe. Looking at this map pool, we're looking at Nepal. You'd like to see a lot of sniper compositions on Nepal, also Route 66. So I have high hopes that we might see some damage dealers here. And that might mean that we see Carpe versus Sire play. Now, I'm not, you know, I like to make some claims. I like to claim that I'm never wrong, you know, the Oracle, all that business. But, you know, I'm not going to go as far as to say we might see it here today, except I just did. So
that's a lie too bold even for you.
You know, I'm not making any claims, Monty. I'm only human.
Carpe's Widow is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and the Seoul Dynasty are hoping they will be feared this season as well. We sat down with the Dynasty to find out how they improved, and we got a little guarantee from our boy Fisher as well. That's coming up on the Watchpoint pre-show.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
We are only 1 week into the season, but some teams are already dealing with some serious issues. All the optimism they entered the year with is gone, and now they need help. But don't worry, Dr. Malik is here to help. Who'd like to share first?
I will. I'm the Houston Outlaws, and I have a map 5 problem. And it's been 322 days since I last won a map 5.
Oh my God.
I'm the oldest team in the league on average, but we're just playing like a bunch of noobs so far. We brought in Dante to make sure everyone just shut up about this Tracer nonsense, but I'm not sure he likes us as much as we like ourselves. I think we still have a lot of fans, but we really want something real this season.
It's okay, Houston. We're all going to make it. High five. Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. You have a crippling fear of map 5s and also the number 5. Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry about that.
Houston, you keep your head up. You stay strong.
Thank you.
Stay strong.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else care to share?
I'd like to share.
All right, you go.
Listen, mate, I'm the London Spitfire. Don't forget it, all right? 2018, we were the champions, you know? It's going to make it another year, you know, 2019, the back-to-back champions. We're going to make it happen, but just hit a little bit of a bump, you know? Our damage dealers, they can't play, you know, the heroes that they're good at. Our tank play, our Reinhardt. I mean, I don't even want to really talk about it, guys, to be honest, but I mean, we're the best team in Europe, you know, despite the fact that we lost to Paris. But what is all this nonsense about GOATs at the end of the day? We're the GOATs here. Come on, 2018? Has everyone forgotten? Champions here. You know, you got to respect our excellence at the end of the day. We have no business being at the bottom of these leaderboards with Shanghai.
Whoa. Whoa. I'm here. I hear you.
London, you appear to be a little bit delusional, but it's okay. It's all right. Anyways, Shanghai, how are you holding up? You holding up well?
I mean, I thought this is a safe space, but
It's a safe space.
no, I'm great. Yeah.
It's been tough for you. 42 matches for you guys.
Yeah, but who's counting, right? It's fine.
Well, at the very least, there is a bright side. You have Gamsu now. Don't you think he'll help you win?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe, but yeah, probably. I mean, we're gonna look a lot better. Anyway, but I have my 42 stamps now. Does that, I should get a free match win now, right?
No, dear baby, no. You actually have to win.
Oh.
You have to compete and win. Okay, well, this is awkward. So I think that's it. That's all I have time for.
Thank you.
One team that definitely needed some support last season was the Seoul Dynasty. They added some key players in the offseason, including the star main tank Fisher. Expectations for this squad are sky high, just like they were last season. And as the players told us, they plan on living up to those expectations this time around.
저번 시즌의 서울 다이너스티의 문제점이라고 하면은 많은 것들이 있겠지만 그게 좀 말하기가 좀 솔직히 좀 그렇고 그냥
저희가 아무래도 처음 하다 보니까 많은 팬분들이 응원해 주시면서 성적이 안 나온 게 좀 많이 아쉬웠어요.
좀 너무 아쉽네요 저번 시즌 솔직하게.
이번 시즌 서울 다이너스티가 이제 작년에는 12팀인데 8등이었나요? 9등이었나? 정확히 기억은 나진 않네요. 사실 궁금하진 않아서. 어쨌든 그 가장 큰 이유는 선수들이 코치를 믿으면서 의견을 강하게 내지 않았던 점과 서울 다이너스티라는 팀으로 제가 옮기게 되었습니다.
저희 팀을 움직이는 데 있어서 좀 더 빠르다고 해야 되나?
전 시즌에는 저희가 이렇게 주도적으로 뭔가 이끌어주고 이런 선수가 크게 없었는데 피어 선수 스타일이 이제 팀을 잘 이끌어주고
Let's go. One for the money, two for the show. Keep pushing, everything's a go.
두려워하게 만들어야 되긴 하죠.
저희를 분명 견제하고 좀 더 두려워할 거라고 저는 생각을 해요.
그만큼 저희가 열심히 할 거고
또 더 이기려고 열심히 할 거고
팀에서 제가 전 시즌 등수보다는 무조건 높게 나올 거라고 자신합니다.
It's a title fight, and I want the purse. One for the money, two for the show. Live from the block where the concrete grows. The Seoul Dynasty, they will not be denied.
So Monty, do you agree with Fisher about having a better record this season?
I'm not sure that I do. I think they're probably going to be in about that same place, maybe slightly, under 50% in the bottom 10, maybe around 10th or 11th place. I just don't see that they have the pieces really, at least not in this meta, to put it together towards the end of the season.
It's really interesting, actually. In that piece, Fisher said he feels like their issue was that the players weren't vocal enough. When now it looks like, I mean,
and that
just
they listen to the
them,
coaches too much. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one, Chieftain. Ooh.
Any thoughts on it, sorry?
I mean, you say they don't have the pieces to make it work. I slightly disagree. I do think that Fleta has shown us individual great performances. Jexe has been fragging out on that Lucio, so I thought he did really well as Michelle. They just didn't come together yet, but there's still some games to go, so there's hope.
You've been talking about Michelle, too. Can't forget about that.
Yeah.
But, all right, the Blizzard Arena is filling up, and we are just moments away from the action on stage. We've got our match predictions coming up on the Watchpoint pre-show. It's almost time to play some Overwatch. Let's see who our analysts think is going to win these matches. All three of our analysts like London to get their first win against the Justice. They also think Philly gets their third win against the Florida Mayhem. Zoe is on her own, taking Guangzhou over the Dallas Fuel, and Brent is the only one that gets Chengdu over the Dynasty. Monty and Brent, let's hash it out. 30-second face-off. Let's go.
I know how to win this one. Just got to talk fast and loud and first over Monty, so I'm not letting you get a word into it, mate. Listen, Chengdu, they got the business about them. They don't play the conventional compositions, you know? Seoul, what have they got to prep into that? They don't have much, and they didn't look too hot in their last match, so...
Yeah, but this is a matchup that we're going to be able to see Fleta flex onto a lot of DPS heroes. I believe in Fissure's aggressive play. I think he can match in terms of Wrecking Ball. And you're going to have Munchkin coming in, maybe able to play that Tracer. So I actually think this is very good for the Seoul Dynasty.
I think I win. Yeah.
We'll give it to you. That's it for us, everybody. Enjoy the matches.